Hey everyone, it is a rainy, drizzly day outside, which is awesome. And today I thought it would be a great day to go ahead and clean the barn. One of the stalls has been cleaned because lambs have been moved, but everything else needs to be cleaned. Can you hear them? I just fed them bottles. So hopefully they'll settle down and maybe take a nap. I don't know. But anyhow, today would be a great day to clean the barn. It's rainy, it's drizzly, it's windy, it's cold. Not super great May day. So let's clean the barn and take advantage of the cooler weather to get something inside done. Because when it's nice outside, I would rather be outside doing something in the sunshine. We're just gonna chit chat while I clean the barn. And I'm gonna tell you a few things about myself that maybe you don't know. So first, I need to try and move the emus out because they're not very helpful. And I'd love to open this door so I can take the wheelbarrow in and out. So let's see if I can move some emus. Can we go outside for us? Nope, that's my phone. Thank you. Come on. Can we go? Can we go? Can we go? Yes. There's the bottle calves hanging out. Oh, Miss Gertie. Hi, Gertie, baby. All the rest of the multi-species animals are in that corral because I've kicked them out of there so the grass will grow. Here's the baby lambs. They just got food. Are you gonna stick your heads out? When it's nice outside, I put them outside, but they would probably shrink if I put them out today. So better safe to leave them inside. This is the alpaca pen. It is the worst of all of them. 3 alpacas, chai mocha latte. They hang out here at night. I could clean this every day and it would look like this. They're very messy. So we're gonna get that cleaned and rebedded. We are going to have baby alpacas here shortly, but we got a couple weeks probably. And before they have babies, I'm gonna get them sheared, hopefully after this storm. Bottle calves have been going into a different pen and they've been hanging out outside most of the time anymore, but with the rainy, drizzly weather, I brought them in and they're happy. But their stall's not horrible. This stall is typically the donkeys. We don't put them in here a lot, but on occasion they hang out in the stall. And then when Ethel gets closer to foaling, I will put her in here at night. So I'm going to clean this out now, and then she's not going to have a foal anytime soon. But like I said, she doesn't go in here very often. Most of the time, the reason there's poop in here is because if this gets like left open and they come hang out here during the day. So let's get it all cleaned up and get the barn looking nice. The hallway. The emus. This area needs cleaned. This was just cleaned like 2 days ago. It has been rainy and drizzly and snowy, and the wind's blowing like 50. Not right now, but we've had a lot of days of wind, which is exhausting in, its own way. But that's why the hallway is so bad, even though it was just cleaned a couple days ago, is because everyone has just been hanging out in here in the hallway during the day rather than being outside. I've got my tools that I need for this job. We've got a wheelbarrow, a pitchfork, and I don't know, a rake? I don't know what this is called, in all honesty, but it works really good. So those are what our tools that we need for this job. Fun fact about me, I don't know if it's fun. I don't know. I hate wearing gloves. Absolutely despise wearing gloves. So I know everyone is going to tell me I should be wearing gloves. I don't like it. I don't like when my hands get hot in the summertime. I don't like my hands being cold in the wintertime. And although it's like nasty outside, it's not bad in here. It's like 40 degrees. So I don't like wearing gloves. I will do it when I have to. But in the gardens and stuff, when I'm pulling weeds and working, I really don't put gloves on. My hands suffer for it. They're dry and nasty looking. But I would rather just not wear gloves. So I just thought that I would chit chat with you a little bit about some of the things that maybe you guys don't know about me, and do that while I'm cleaning up these stalls. So one of the things that, if you've been here for a while, I am an executive director of a nonprofit that myself and my friend Megan founded in 2019, and it's called the Edible Prairie Project. And we use local food to address food insecurity, and we do a veggie basket program. And yesterday was our first veggie basket. So the weather was craptastic, and I had every intention of filming some of it, but I just didn't. The wind was blowing. The sun did come out for part of the day, which was nice. And we harvested, what did we have? We had spinach, chives, radishes, microgreens, and eggs from another producer here in town. And so we did 26 baskets. Each basket participant got one of each item. We have 3 different tiers of basket. So we have a retail basket that can be purchased. We have a gap basket. Our gap basket is kind of interesting because if you don't apply or don't qualify for federal food assistance programs, then we give you, but you're still food insecure according to the Wyoming self-sufficiency standards, then we offer a 40% discount. We call that our gap tier. And then if you're on federal food assistance programs, the basket's actually free because of the fundraising and the grants and the money that we raise throughout the year. We're able to provide those baskets for free to 15 of those 26 baskets. And they also received a pound of breakfast sausage because protein is very hard to put into your budget when you're food insecure. Protein's expensive. So that was our first veggie basket. It is our spring green season. It runs for 4 weeks in May, and then we get to take a break, and summer basket starts in July. So the nonprofit's called Edible Prairie Project. If you'd like more info about it, it's edibleprairieproject.org. Yeah, we're getting into our busy season where veggie baskets are starting. We also do weekend food bags for kids during the summertime, and that will start in June. And so we provide weekend food bags for kids at distribution partners, which are like Boys and Girls Club, our rec center, Children's Developmental Services, and there's a few others. But we do on average about 225, 250 weekend food bags for kids each week during the summer break. And that starts in June. So Ashley, who is my full-time program coordinator for Edible Prairie Project, is busy buying food for that and working with our distribution partners to confirm all of our numbers. And yeah, it's just super busy season right now. And I'm excited to be back running programs and into program season of my nonprofit life. So I just hired, well, it's been a few weeks, but Edible Prairie Project always has a part-time seasonal farmhand. And this year, Catherine joined our team, and we were weeding the high tunnel one day, the spring high tunnel, and she asked me, how did Edible Prairie Project come to be? And it really started at the farmer's market. And so that is 100% what put me on a journey to local food, which ultimately, ended up with this ranch being 100% direct to consumer. In 2010, I was pregnant with Mackenzie, and she's now 13, which is crazy. But we took some vegetables to farmer's market. My mom had a family-sized garden out here on the ranch, and we always had extras of things. And Wyoming's infamous for producing, one year you'll have nothing of a crop, and then other years you'll have just like a bumper crop of something. So she saw an ad in the newspaper that the farmer's market was looking for vendors, and she was like, why don't you take a few things to the farmer's market and, see how it goes. I was not working at the time and was just doing ranch stuff, but like looking for something that was my own and something that I could really build and create. And went to farmer's market, made some jam, because you could do that at the time. Wyoming food laws have changed drastically since 2010, but sold some jam, sold some vegetables. It was hot. I was pregnant. I think I went to 5 farmers markets that summer, and I was like, this is good. But it was enough that it created the itch for local food. It created something in me that was like, this is my path. And so it's interesting when you think back and, one small decision leads to another. And that was definitely one of those, that phone call that my mom made of, hey, there's an ad in the newspaper. That was a pivotal, life-changing moment. I didn't know it at the time, but that really changed the trajectory of, my career and gave me a career. And, I remember selling, I don't think it was the first market, but, after like a few markets or so, I think by the end of that first summer, I had a market where I broke like $100 and I was like, yes. So it wasn't profitable like at all to start out with, but it was something that I felt passionate about, and it felt like it was something that I could make it my own, and I could make it my place on the ranch. And so in a roundabout way, that's how Edible Prairie Project came to be, because I met Megan at Farmers Market. She just came as a volunteer, and she got involved with Farmers Market, and we started all these programs underneath the Farmers Market umbrella that were addressing food insecurity, and we eventually decided we needed our own umbrella and we needed to be our own 501c3. So we did it. So in the same time that Edible Prairie Project was being born in 2019, we were in the transition of switching from Farmers Market to a farm store here on the ranch. And it was 100% the best decision ever to switch out of Farmers Market. I learned so much at Farmers Market, and it was such a valuable experience for me, and it really allowed, the local food, the direct-to-consumer side to really, it was a place for it to be born. But it was time to have some control of our schedule, not be transporting food as much, and also more time with the kids, because as Mackenzie got older and started preschool, and then I don't know if she was in kindergarten. Yeah, she was in like elementary by the time Farm Store was opened. So much of the harvest season is actually during the school year, because we start school this next year. We start August 19th and 24. All right, that's full. This stall is mostly clean. I know you can't see it, but I will flip the camera around and show you. So I will put new bedding in here, and one stall done. I'm going to take this out this door and dump it into the Bobcat, and then it can be added to the compost pile. How much is going to spill? Not bad. Well, that was one wheelbarrow load, and the Bobcat bucket's like full. All right, the stall is all clean. I will put new bedding in when we're all done and rebed all of them at the same time. This is the calf stall. The lambs were in here to start out with because I had Gretchen down in the stall they're in now, and they can escape everywhere else because they're super tiny, and them and the emus would not be a good combination. So they were in there. That is a pig panel that has chicken wire around it. It is a great little pen to have for goats. I put the lambs in it. Emus used to go in it. Just any animal that needs a small area and, is a small animal and will escape things. This stall I used during calving when I had a heifer that would need to be put in the barn and mothered up and stuff. And so it's been cleaned out a few times this spring. So fortunately, it's not horrible. And I actually think that I'm mostly just pulling up the dirt floor at this point in this section. But I do want to get all this because when it was crappy and until I got that stall cleaned up, you know, they were spending quite a bit of time in here, the lambs were. So this needs to be completely taken down to dirt floor. Grace the other day was asking me what my favorite food was. I was like, I don't know. You know, that's kind of, if you just had to pick one food, what do you pick? But it didn't take me very long, and I was, you know, a garden tomato. A garden tomato has probably, for many, many years, been my favorite thing. It's one of the favorite things I grow is tomatoes. Tomatoes and cucumbers and lettuce are my favorite things because I buy groceries for lettuce because I don't grow lettuce year round. But I so look forward to the first lettuce that comes out of the garden. And of course, that first tomato is always such a fun and exciting thing. And, you know, none of the kids like tomatoes, so I don't have to share with them. So I always get to eat the first tomato. Gilbert loved tomatoes too. And so if Gilbert was still here, I would probably let him have the first tomato. But there's just nothing better than a garden tomato. And yeah, I love them. So I would say that's not a store tomato. It has to be a homegrown garden tomato. I really don't mind mucking stalls. Like it's kind of relaxing, and it's kind of like weeding the gardens in the summertime. I don't know what to call the gardens anymore. Like, you know, we're at an acre of vegetable production. It's not really a garden. I call it a market farm a lot, but it's, you know, I'm just at a weird in-between space where it's like, I don't feel like I'm a farm, but I am a farm, but I'm not a garden. So, but anyhow, I spend a lot of time weeding, of course. You know, Catherine that works for EPP, she'll spend a lot of time weeding. Carrie spends a lot of time weeding. It's super time consuming, but I really don't mind it. And mucking stalls is kind of the same way for me. Like it's, you know, it just has to be done. I want the animals to be healthy. I want them to have clean living conditions, of course. And it's nice because you take something that's a mess and, you know, you rebed it and get it all cleaned up. And same thing with pulling weeds. Like you get to look back and be like, I did that. Like it's done. You can see it. I like those things that are tangible accomplishments that you can see. That always makes me quite happy. I'm quite a bit more optimistic about haying season than I was a few days ago. We got 1.5 inches of rain the other day, all in one day. The wind blew 50. That part we didn't need. But we got rain, so that's great. Raining again today. More rain in the forecast. The grass was dying. There was browning already happening and could definitely tell that things were struggling. So it came just in the nick of time for us to have any chance of haying. Very, very grateful for the moisture. Hopefully it continues. So I'm going to take all of this and it's going to get put into the compost pile. And next year it will be used on the gardens as fertilizer. They always sound like they're saying mom. Mom. Cracks me up. It's always a lot easier to muck a stall when it's dry too. After having like a cow that just gave birth in here and calves, it gets a little wet. There is still one heifer left to calve. She's taking her sweet time. And 5 or 6 cows left. I'd have to look at the list, but getting close. So that's exciting. All right, I think my wheelbarrow is full. What do you guys think? No. Let's move some stuff. And I'll put the nursery pen, that's what I call it, it's the nursery pen, back where it was. All right, let's move the wheelbarrow. There's a cat helping. I think this one's name is OJ. Thank you, dude. So this is not going to fit in here. I'm going to see if Jeff is available. Jeff, do you have a radio?
Yep.
Would you mind coming and running the Bobcat over to the compost? I have it full.
Yeah, I'll be right there.
Thank you. I don't think you want to go to the compost, kitty cat.
Hi.
Jeff, it's only 2 wheelbarrows and it's full.
Well, I'll tilt it back. It'll hold that other wheel.
Okay. That's most of it. All right, there is a small baby compost pile. Yeah. Thank you. All right, Jeff is gonna go dump that for me so I can keep cleaning and we'll just keep working together as a team. The bottle calves don't eat much hay yet, but I always like them to have access to hay so they can have, it's like trying to feed a toddler. You have to have exposure. They do nibble on it some, and especially Gertie because she's the oldest. Gretchen, not so much yet, but they do also get, this bucket just has creep in it. It's just a little, it's like a pellet. The lambs get lamb creep and the calves get calf creep. And the emus get their own food. The alpacas get their own food. That is one of the challenges of multi-species is the mineral requirements of everybody. Emus especially need, they're very nutrient dependent. And so they get a special feed from, we actually get it from Chewy. It's on auto ship, well, and the alpaca feed as well. And emus are part of the rat type family. They eat a pellet. It looks like chicken feed, or like the creep, but it's specially formulated for emus because they need a lot of, I'm not going to get this all right, so don't quote me, but they need a lot of vitamin E, and B vitamins are very important to emus, and there's a few others. I don't worry about it so much other than buy the emu feed and it has everything in it that you need. Some people mix their own. I just buy the emu feed. And then alpacas also need specific minerals, and so they get a scoop of pellets every night. So just like I don't like to wear gloves, I don't like to wear boots either. So I always wear tennis shoes, have for years. I do have boots. I will put them on when necessary, especially when we're sorting calves and working cattle and stuff, I will wear boots then just for safety's sake. But obviously I get in and do things with the cows, and don't have boots on and pole calves and tennis shoes, it's not a big deal. I understand people have feelings about that. It's my personal preference. It's my feet. I don't like to wear boots. I don't like my feet to be hot. My feet get hot in boots. Yeah, I just prefer tennis shoes. And yes, they get dirty. And I have barn tennis shoes. I have garden tennis shoes because I don't want to walk in the barn and then go, walk by the spinach. That's not safe. I don't want to transfer things like E. coli and salmonella. And when they get real filthy, I just throw them in the washing machine and it's not a big deal. So that's what works for me. Don't like gloves, don't like boots. All right, I think that wheelbarrow's full. Let's go get it emptied. This stall behind me is where last year's lambs, what are their names? Cool Whip and Vanilla, Llama Llama Ding Dongs. This is where they go, and Tallow, who is the buck goat. Tallow is separated from the other goats, so I can control the breeding. Corilla and Fancy should be bred, but Salt is like super tiny, even though she's over a year old. I don't think I'll ever breed her, and Squid is too young to be bred. So Tallow has to be separated. So he hangs out with the sheep. And I'm probably not going to keep Tallow much longer. He's probably served his purpose, and it's probably time to find a new buck goat. Somehow, crazily, it is already the first week in May. Like, I don't know how that happened. It was like March, and I was just starting to calve heifers, and now it's May. So since it's already May, it's time, I have to start thinking about, well, I've been thinking about, it's time to breed heifers. Usually heifers get bred the first week in June. So the heifers get bred before the cows do. And the reason behind that is that it takes longer for them to cycle again and to come back into heat that after their first calf. So you want to give them more time, and you're setting them up for success to be first cycle calvers as cows if you breed them as heifers earlier. So June 1st is like just a few weeks away. So Max is the bull that all of this year's heifers were bred to. He was a great bull. Super happy with him, keeping him. We'll be putting him out with the cows and Doof. All of my really big calves, I blame on Doof, but he'll stay for one more year at least. Max will stay, and there will be a new bull on the ranch. He's not here yet, so I'm not gonna, you're gonna have to wait. But I will tell you, if it works out the way that I think it's gonna work out, and it's not finalized, so if things change, this is why I'm not saying exactly what's happening, but it is not going to be a Black Angus bull. So that's going to be something different for the first time in a long time. And you'll have to wait till the 1st of June to find out exactly what type of bull will be breeding heifers. I'm excited though. Herd diversity and a bit of genetic diversity is something that I really want to do. I really want some Black Angus cross. It's raining outside. I don't know if you can hear it. I eventually want to get where the lambs, last year's lambs, not this year's lambs, they're going to be in the barn for a while, but last year's lambs, like, they don't need to be outside. So, or be inside. They can be outside at night. So I'm going to rework some accommodations this summer. So part of the reason the stall is so wet is because the roof is leaking. It rained 1.5 inches. What day is it today? It's Wednesday? Monday. Monday it rained 1.5 inches. So, you know, with a little bit of a drip from the roof, it's understandable that this is pretty wet right here. But time to get it cleaned up. Fixed it. I'm standing here listening to it drip, and I'm like, oh man, that's never gonna dry up. Well, let's just put a bucket under it for now, okay? I can see the holes in the tin where obviously it had been patched, so I can fix that later. The goat pen, the lamb pen, it's done and clean and ready for bedding. One stall left to do, and that's the alpaca stall, and then the hallway. So the bigger the animal, the bigger the mess they make. So this is by far the worst stall and the wettest stall. This must have a leak too. Oh yeah. When the roof was patched, I can see they must have reused tin. I don't know who patched it. I think it was like this. It's been like this forever. But they reused tin because I can see like screw holes in it. So there's something I've been thinking about a lot, and it's the idea of normal, right? So what is normal? Obviously, in the last few months, normal for me has changed a lot, and in ways that I never thought it would. But my life looks a lot different right now, and is going to continue to look a lot different as I make changes here on the ranch, and my family has changed, and just life has changed. And there's two ways I feel that you can go about this, and you can disagree with me, but this is how I feel about it. I can wish for days of old, and that's a normal feeling and a feeling I've had, and so I understand that. Or I can accept that life is different. Normal now is very different from what normal was a year ago. But even though my day is different every day, it's my normal. And if I sit and dwell on the fact that it's not what normal used to be, I'm going to get stuck there. And I don't want to be stuck. I want to move forward. And so while every day is different than it was a year ago, different than it was a month ago, at the end of the day, this is normal for me now. And I get to pick what I define as normal. When my kids were little, and the day they were even born, the day before, my normal was very different than the day after when they were born. And, you just adapt and you just move forward and define what normal is for you moving forward. And so, a few months ago, was I mucking stalls by myself? No. And I'm not. Like, Jeff's helping. Carrie's working on other stuff. Was this what I was doing last year on a rainy day in May? No. But it's what I'm doing now. And this is my normal. This is, my responsibility. It's my choice. And I'm in a place right now where I'm okay with that. And that wasn't always the case, but it's where I'm at now. And there's been so many things that I've done off camera that, although I knew I could do this challenge, I knew I was up for this challenge, it didn't mean that it was easy. And so many things outside my comfort zone, and so many things that have been hard. But at the end of the day, they needed to be done. So I did them. And the next time, they weren't that hard, and it felt more normal. So I know things are different. I know you guys feel that. I feel it too. But it's okay. It's something I've been thinking a lot about, is what's normal. And I really truly believe that normal is whatever we define it as. Our lives always change. Sometimes they change slow, sometimes they change fast. Normal changes all the time. I always hope that there's change in my life because I hope that there's growth and progress, and I hope there's new things coming into my life. And, you know, even adding a new animal, like when I got the bottle lambs, that meant that they needed to be fed. And so my normal, you know, nighttime and morning routine, you know, it changed. And, you know, for the better. So, yeah, normal is what we define it. It's not always the same as what it used to be, but it can be okay at the same time. So the emus hang out in the hallway, which means almost every day the hallway needs to be done. Does it get done every day? No, of course not. Does it get done a few times a week? Yes, absolutely. Especially during the summertime when there's harvest host and tours. I don't bed the hallway because it would just be a lot of bedding, and I don't know, maybe I should try it. I don't know, but the emus are messy and it's very slippery. You watch where you step. If you ever watch the barn camera on the website, you'll see us like, like you have to like watch the landmines. And often you will clean it and then they will come right back in and make a mess. So I'm very glad that I got them out and they're not helping for this project because it would be 10 times harder. I'm very much looking forward to summertime and warmer weather. I love summer. Summer is my favorite season. I do not like being cold. I like to be hot. Would much rather be hot than cold 1,000,000 times over. My birthday is in August, so I think it's the fact that I'm a Leo and an August baby that I just absolutely hate being cold. Grace is also an August Leo baby. She's the same way. Mackenzie likes the winter, and she was born in January. Lincoln, June, birthday. I don't know, he's indifferent. I'm very excited to have Jeff back. It's been great to have another set of hands. There's so much stuff that once the weather does warm up, like cleaning out the feedlot and the pig pen and, you know, where the heifer pen where I calved all the heifers. There's just so much to do, and the gardens really pick up. And I have part-time help for the gardens, which is amazing. Catherine's been great so far. I'm really, really happy with her addition to the Edible Prairie Project team. But there's just always so much to do. Kids will be done with school soon, and that'll be fun to have them around. But I'm excited to get into summer routine and get some of the summer projects going. This makes really great compost for the gardens. All of these animals are safe to compost. I don't compost pig. I know you can, and some people do it, but I will not compost anything that comes out of the pig corral or anything that comes out of the goat corral because Petunia, the potbelly pig, well, she's not potbelly, mini pig, she's in there. There's lots of emu feathers. Feathers have lots of nitrogen. It's really good compost. All right, I'm gonna dump this, get bedding, and then we're done. Hi, llamas. Oh, I should get my rake. The animals will spread this out, but I like to at least spread it a little bit. Put some in the wet spots so they have dry places to lay. I know it's just going to get wet again because it's still raining, but I want them to have dry places to lay. I'm going to let everybody in since it is raining and they're all spoiled. All right, well now everyone has access to the barn and they can come in out of the rain and they're wet. It's really raining up there, which is great. What happened to you, Chai? Like, can you tell me what happened? Did you like roll in the hay and the mud? Yeah, they're a mess. Hi, llama ding dongs. Hi. Oh, is that good? Is that good? Head scratches. Well, thank you very much for hanging out with me. This was a very productive rainy day. I would have rather been outside doing other stuff, but happy to get this done. Barn is clean. Now we can just do maintenance on this hallway every day. And here in a couple weeks, it'll be time to do stalls again. But thank you for hanging out. I appreciate it so much, as always. And I'll see you next time.